Hello Nursery, I'm back again and I've brought another story today. This one is called How Big is the World? And as you can see in this story, we have a little mole. I wonder what he's going to do. Little mole with a big mole in a hole. How big is the world? One morning, Little Mole woke up with a big question for his dad. How big is the world? Asked Little Mole. Why don't you go and find out? Replied Dad. So Little Mole popped out of his little molehill in the middle of a big field. He met a spider. How big is the world? Asked Little Mole when he met the tiny spider. As big as my web, the spider replied. My web is the world, there isn't any more. And the spider crawled away to the end of her world. Little Mole came upon a mouse. How big is the world? He asked. As big as my field, replied the mouse. My field is the world. And the mouse scampered away to the end of his world. How big is the world, Little Mole? Asked a horse. I happen to know that it is bigger than this field, replied the horse, as if he knew all about the world. The world goes all the way to the sea. That is the end of the world, continued the horse. Then he trotted away. How big is the world? Little Mole asked the seagull. As big as the ocean, I think, the seagull replied. What is the ocean? Asked Little Mole. It's all that water splashing about, said the seagull. Come, I'll show you. They flew out over the ocean. Little Mole watched the world grow bigger and bigger. What's that? Called Little Mole, shouting over the wind. Can you see it? What do you think that is? It's a whale, replied the seagull. Can we go and say hello? Asked Little Mole. Hold on tight then, said the seagull. How big is the world? Asked Little Mole. Massive, replied the enormous whale. Jump on and I'll show you. Wow, this whale looks really big. He's an enormous whale. They travelled north to where the ocean was so cold that it turned to ice. Is the whole world so cold? Asked Little Mole, shivering. I know warmer places, replied the whale. And the whale turned and swam south. The ocean was calm, the air was warm, and as the sun went down, the sky became red. Where does the world end? Asked Little Mole. End? Replied the enormous whale. I have swum in this ocean all my life, and I have never seen the end. Soon moonlight danced on the waves. The world is beautiful, isn't it? Said Little Mole. The more you look, replied the enormous whale, the more you will see. They saw a vast desert, a tall city, huge mountains, wild jungles, colourful creatures, and thick forests. I miss my family, said Little Mole. Then it is time to take you home, said the enormous whale. Are we there yet? Asked Little Mole. Nearly, said the enormous whale. Look, Little Mole, there's the seagull. Little Mole thanked the enormous whale, and the seagull flew Little Mole all the way home. Little Mole popped down into his little molehill. It was very late and very quiet. Everyone was asleep except Dad. How big is the world then? Whispered Dad. It's as big as you want it to be, said Little Mole quietly, and he closed his eyes and went to sleep. And there's the whale and their baby. The end. Now, in that story, Little Mole was finding out about little bits of the world and how it could get bigger and bigger. At the minute, our world seems quite small because we're just staying at home. But I bet if we looked around at all of it, there'd be lots of things we could notice. So your job today, Nursery, can you get one of your toys, it might be a little doll, a little figure, any toy you like, and you are going to show it around your house. You're going to use your words to talk and tell it about the tall doorways. You might tell it about the enormous carpet. You might tell it about the wide windows. See the things you can spot in your house and tell your little toy all about it. You could even look out of the window and see what you could see there. You might draw a map to help you and take your little toy on an adventure around your house. Good luck with your special job today, Nursery, and I will see you tomorrow for another story. Bye.